I know, you're going to tell me off. So, there you go. I'm wearing PPE. For all the good it'll do me, all that happens is my glasses fog up. It's probably time we headed out to the boat. And here she is in the relatively early morning sunshine. As you can see, the neighbours are still entirely unfazed by her. They're enjoying the sunshine as well, by the look of it. So, she's still got quite a lean to the left. And I'm still slightly worried about that keel. But we're going to get inside now. Right, starting from the back, I need to take out that battery shelf, varnish it and have it ready for fiberglassing. Suddenly struck me as well that I probably need to take any sharp edges off its corners because I don't really want it rubbing against the hull. That would be bad. Need to refit the cockpit drains, which of course involves fixing that hole and the same hole on the other side. We'll not go there for the moment. It should be dry enough soon. The washboard is of course inside. These supports basically need to come out and be replaced with something slightly better. Inside, well, where to start? Broadly speaking, it looks to be all right. So at the very front there, you will see the paint. But beyond that, there doesn't a few little bits cracking here and there, but that may just be sunshine, I guess. Plus, it's going to be covered up anyway. So that much isn't too bad. What I do need to do is get under those blockers, check that the bilge is dry, and then I need to cut open the top of the keel on that side. Not a massive hole, don't worry too much, but I need to be able to get in and have a decent look because of the water that's coming out down the side. I need to plan what's going on with the shelving. So we're going to have the bulkheads here and here when they go back in. Excuse me. And then I will need some form of shelving. Now, I was in touch with a chap who had one of these in his garden, so I will probably get back in touch with him because he's only down the road in Nottingham and see what we can do, whether he's got anything that I can salvage from his. That's it for the time being. That's enough to be going on with. I'm going to take all these locker tops back in, give them a final clean over. If they haven't been given the treatment yet, then sand them, decoil them. That big one over there, I don't actually know where that's from. I thought it was the toilet, but it's too big for the toilet, and I think the toilet is the one inside. So that one, I need to figure out where it goes, if anywhere, and pop it back into shape. Well, actually, it looks delaminated, so I suspect it's probably a chuck job. And the rest of them, yeah, I just need to finish them off. Needs a good clean, and that's probably enough to be going on with. Oh yeah, and that window isn't sealed. I'll show you a shot from the outside, but the trim, I couldn't put it in one-handed, so that's not quite finished, that window, but the rest have actually stood up pretty well. So I'm pleased with that, if nothing else. Inside, you can see that's the core there, a little bit damp, and this is the circle where there was previously a mount. So I need to do something about that. As soon as it dries up a bit, as soon as it's a little bit drier, that's the paint on the front, that's buggered. What else? I mean, I can start fitting some stuff, maybe. These are the holes where the external lights would have gone. These are relatively decent. There's a bit of condensation on the inside. And yeah, these haven't been done, I don't think, at all. So I'm going to take them off, see what the bilge looks like. A bit of water, not too much, so I'll find the sponges, and then obviously we've got that bit there. We've got a couple of through holes. I think one was the drain for the sink, and one was for the depth sounder or the speed gauge, which, if I remember rightly, fell apart when we took it out. That was from my test to see what was dripping, which completely didn't work. So yeah, we'll get these locker tops inside because then they're at least in the right place, and they can be done over the course of the week. Oh yeah, we've got to replace some of the bulkheads down there and bulkheads under there, but those aren't huge pieces of kit. The issue is going to be measuring for the replacement, because as you can see, there's not much left of the originals that's intact. And when they first went in, it would have been with the boat in two parts. So there's that, and there's those bits down there which are slightly easier to get to, admittedly. Yeah, that's probably enough to be going on with. Where do we start? At the beginning, I guess. You might notice that this is a slightly different viewpoint to normal. That's because I have followed up on some of the suggestions that people gave me about tripods, and I have now not just this, which was the gorilla-y one, which is a bit pants to be honest, but it only cost a few quid. But I have the one that you're on now, which is a big tripod thing, which means I can do close-up shots, slightly longer away shots, and even further away still shots. But on top of that, I also have one that's on a sort of clamp and a wiggly thing, so I can do odd angles like that, or do these sort of overhead shots that show you what's on the bench. So, although actually you're going to be at a really funny angle if I do that. Anyway, hang on. But hopefully we are now back fully into the swing of things. I am going to be finishing off the last bits of the woodwork that I haven't managed to get around to this week. I've got a few things ordered that are on the way, aside from tripods, that may well start going in. And yeah, I'll just get a grip ready. There's lots of bits and bobs lying around half done. So I need to basically do a plan, because I haven't really had one so far, apart from step 1, buy a boat. Step 3, go sailing in the boat. Hadn't really figured out what step 2 was. Anyway, should we crack on? Just so that those of you who tune in for the sounding don't feel left out, I'll speed this bit up. Told you there was sunshine. See what I mean about it being a really nice wood? Comes up so well. Lovely. Out to dry with it. For those who haven't watched that episode, this is a stripping disc. These are amazing. These make very, very short work of varnish, that sort of stuff, paint, whatever. Go and get one. I know, you're going to tell me off. So, there you go. I'm wearing PPE. For all the good it'll do me, all that happens is my glasses fog up. A few scratches and whatever, but it's had a hard life. I'll give these a second coat. Let that all dry off a bit. Crack on with what's next. Right, so I'm just going to varnish off the other set of locker tops and this board, and I'm going to sort of be doing this in and amongst doing other bits during the day. So, just putting on a coat and letting it dry and then coming back and putting on another coat and so on. It's quite mundane, all of this, I'm afraid, which is partly why I'm speeding through it in this episode. But I think, to be honest, a lot of the stuff on the boat is quite mundane. It's stuff that needs to be done, particularly when you've got a boat that hasn't been around or been in use for tens of years, if not longer. It all needs to be brought back in, and it's this is supposed to be a kind of warts and all video or series of videos showing you all of it, really, not just the exciting bits. A lot of it is very unexciting. But on the plus side, it is just gone 8 on a Sunday morning. The sun is out. The forecast is good. So with a bit of luck, this should be quite a productive day. Right, that's my impromptu drying station set up. I think a couple of hours maybe. Well, it is quite warm, so maybe a little bit less. This is the repository of stuff that's left over from tail end of last year. Right, so this is the existing washboard. I think it's fair to say it's probably reached the end of its life. So we will need a new one. However, first of all, this is probably 12 mil. I will check. Which means that it's double the thickness of the one that we've got, because our marine plywood is 12 mil. Our marine plywood is 6 mil. That is not necessarily a problem, actually, because I wanted to try and build in some sort of window into this, and I think somewhere in the mess that is this garage, I should have some offcuts of acrylic. So what I'm going to do initially, although not while those are drying, is cut out 2 pieces of 6 mil marine fiberglass, whatever you call it, plywood, to the same shape, and then think about cutting some sort of, well, hole in the middle of both, but also basically something that I can either put a window in or a sort of fan or something just to help the airflow. So that's the plan for that, but I can't really start cracking on with that until my varnish is dry over there. So next thing, and this is the next thing, these are the other two bits of bulkhead. You will recall that towards the tail end of last year I actually cut out 3 because I got the size completely wrong. Anyway, I cut out 2 new pieces. We've got one set already glued and over there waiting to be fiberglass together just to keep it watertight. So I'm going to just glue this bit and then leave that to dry, and then hopefully in a couple of weeks or so, if that, we'll be able to fiberglass. Right, what's next? Broadly speaking, the paint's held up over the winter. There is one obvious patch where, at the moment, this obviously is not on the boat, and the water has got in. So I kind of need to get this back on as soon as possible. Now, I'm pretty certain that the top of the cabin has got a core, and that core at the moment is exposed. So I need to epoxy that to seal it and then put this back in. Now, when this came out many moons ago, it had a wooden base. So if you imagine you've got the cabin roof here, outside, inside, and this was attached, I actually can't remember which way round, to a wooden circle of plywood, which basically fell apart when I took it off. So I need to create a new one. Essentially, I need to cut out a circular piece of nice wood with this as an inner diameter hole, and then either this or a bit more at its outer diameter. Now, you use routers for that. I've bought a router, don't really know how to use it. Certainly don't know how to use it to cut perfect circles. I did try and cut a circle with it, and as you can see, didn't turn out brilliantly. I'm thinking some sort of setup where the router is effectively constrained, so the inner bit of the router cannot go beyond the bit that I want to cut. But I don't really know how to do that, so I'm going to have to give it some thought.